I know the area of pornography can be such a taunting, daunting area where not a lot of people talk about it because it can feel like an area of such filth in our life when more people deal with this than you'd even realize. And so the Lord really had to change my heart because I kept trying to overcome it by myself. And I would say things like, I'm never going to do this again. I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to do it again. And then I would find myself doing it again. And so there was this period that I remember specifically where the Lord told me, he said, Deanna, you don't take me seriously. But it wasn't, when you hear that initially, it's like, oh, it's kind of like, I would never not want to take him seriously. And that's not ever my intention. Sometimes we do things in life that communicate that. But even in that, he wasn't coming down hard on me. It was very gentle. And he started to show me that this thing that I was allowing to consume my time, it was separating me from him, but it wasn't separating him from me. Meaning that every time I did it, I would feel guilty and take steps away from him. And all the while he would be right there saying, I want to help you with this. But it is separating us. Not that he didn't want to be with me, but that I thought that I wasn't worthy of him. It would be like being in marriage with someone and you start to learn how to fight things that come to separate the two of you guys. So the Lord changed my perspective and I stopped seeing that addiction as something that I struggled with, but something that came in between my relationship with God. Like it was him and I versus that thing. And I know that sounds probably a lot more frou-frou than, okay, how do I walk that out? But I really, truly have to give all credit to God because I didn't know how to release myself of that until he showed me that it is you and I, my child, against that thing. I had to learn how to forgive myself, and keeping my word was another thing. Sometimes we'll say a thing, but we lose trust with ourselves when we don't keep what we said. And so it's not just about, saying I'm never going to do this again, but taking our own words seriously, and keeping a vow to God. He takes those things seriously so much that he's even told me in my own life, Deanna, I would rather you not promise me anything than promise me something and not follow through with it, because there's a seriousness of it. But it really is something that reflects our relationship with him, because he wants us to learn how to build trust with ourselves just as much as him. It's when we come to a place where we stop seeing ourselves as the wrong thing or the sin, instead of it's something that we do. And that's not even saying not taking accountability, because the Lord doesn't see us that way. He never says you are sin. He says in the word, it says we are sinful beings, meaning we commit sin, but in our essence, we are not sin. So we have to stop seeing ourselves that way, because he doesn't even see us that way, and start fighting this thing as this is me and God versus the thing that is coming to separate us. And I don't know, it's just that mentality that just shifts things, because it really starts to make you feel like something is coming to take away from you, and that threatens the relationship that you have with God. As I was reading your message, I could hear that you just desire to be close to him, and he wants that with you. So in a sense, the pornography is something that threatens the ability for that relationship with you and him to grow and to prosper. But he's not distant from you just because it happened. He's saying, no, bring it to me and let's attack it together.